Are your hands telling you something about yourself? Yes, they are. And I'm going to teach you about the 4 types of hands and what the movement and the characteristics of your hands are saying about you. Hi, I'm Tuttle. I'm the creator of the very popular program called Energy Profiling and Dressing Your Truth. And this video is long overdue. When I started to compile all of the pictures I needed for today's video, I realized how valuable this information is going to be to now apply something I've taught literally for decades in the energy profiling model, but I've never shown you publicly for free photos of what the 4 types of hands look like. Now, we play around with this in my Dressing Your Truth lifestyle group. Twice a month, we have a type confirmation exercise that you actually could volunteer for if you need a little help confirming your type. You just have to be an annual member of the lifestyle community. But one of the pictures I've requested they include not only a headshot of them smiling, no smile, and I asked for a picture of their hands. Now, why do I want to look at their hands? Well, your hands actually, in most cases, not 100% of the time, will express your dominant energy type. There are some cases where it may not be your dominant. So we can't, hands down, depend on this as the most accurate assessment tool. I teach that your face will always express your dominant energy type. Hands are a close backup to that, but there are some more variables that I have to consider. But for those whose hands are a true expression of their dominant energy type, this will be very valuable for you today. So it'll be most of you. And in my book, It's Just My Nature, I do teach about the movement and character traits of each of the 4 types hands. So I'm going to be referring to what I've written about here. And then we're going to look at that in photos of each of the 4 types of hands. Who's excited? Are you looking forward to looking at these hands? Take a look at your own hands right now. I have very typical hands true to my type. You'll see what that is in a moment. So yes, my hands are congruent with my dominant energy type. And yours very well could be too. So let's take a look now at just overall, let's compare. These are the 4 types of hands. We'll get into what are the character traits, but you can see right away there's a big difference in these 4 hands. We've got type 1 in the upper left-hand corner, type 2 upper right, type 3 lower left-hand corner, type 4 in the bottom right corner. So just get an overall look at those in general. We'll get into more specifics in a moment. And notice what are you seeing in those 4 hands? And what you already know about the movement of the 4 energy types. Remember, type 1 energy is our upward, light, bright. It has a quality of spontaneity, a freshness, a youthful quality to it. Type 2 is our softened, it's relaxed, it has a subtlety about it. It connects, it flows. Type 3 is a more intense, aggressive, substantial push forward movement. Type 4 is a more exact, structured. It has a quality of being linear and focused and big picture to being very precise. It's very symmetrical. So just even with that, you can kind of see where we're going with this with the types of hands. All right, now I've done a little bit of a sketching on each with a 1-word adjective for each of the 4 types of hands. Type 1, we're looking for circles, and there's a childlike quality to it. Type 1, childlike. Type 2, we're looking for a softened quality to it. And I've just drawn, these are some of the more typical movements of the hands we're going to be looking at. We'll be looking at more of them in a moment. Type 3, angular, textured quality to the hands. And type 4, we'll say, is more an exact movement in the hands of a type 4. So let's look first now at a type 1 hand. Let me read to you from the book so we get synced up with what you may have already learned by reading It's Just My Nature. I teach in It's Just My Nature. The type 1 hand is cherub looking, chubby fingers with small youthful appearance, short fingers, short nail beds, and nails that can be circular or turn upward. So can you see I've got the circle in the palm, the more circular nail, and the fingers are shorter. That looks like a child's hand. That's not. That's an adult's hand right there. I acquired these photos from members of my Dressing Your Truth lifestyle community in our Facebook group, which you're welcome to join us. We have a great time in that private group. That is a type 1 hand of an adult lifestyle member. All right, let's look at a group of those hands. Now these are all type 1 hands, and you're seeing similar. Some of them have a little more texture in the knuckles and in the palm, but you can see they all have very circular nail beds, and they're shorter fingers, and they're a broader palm, which creates a circle. So there you go. That's a type 1 hand. So if you've said ever, I have childlike hands. My hands look very small. They're childlike. That's a type 1 hand. Let's look at type 2 now. Remember, that's a soft, more subtle, relaxed, elongated energy. So type 2 hands, soft palm, tapered fingers, longer fingers. I say, and it's just my nature, soft, graceful, smooth, long fingers that taper toward the nail, oval nail beds. So they kind of look like their fingers look like a candlestick, the way they taper. Look at the top of the palm, how smooth and soft that looks. No texture, no bumpiness, no veins showing. My husband's hands are like this. And then we see on the how soft the line is on the side of the thumb. It makes a soft S curve there. The texture in the knuckles is very subtle. There's not really any rise to the palm knuckles here. A little bit of texture in the finger knuckles. Let's look at a group of those. Those are all type 2 hands. Again, look for the similarities. Longer tapered fingers, smooth, soft top of palm. The soft lines, there's no, they're not edgy, or they look like there's an elegance to these hands. Soft palm, tapered fingers, longer fingers. Look at your hand. Where are you seeing your hand? Are you type 1 or type 2 at this point? Right now for type 3, this is where we get everybody, the classic stereotypical description of a type 3 hand is, do you know what it is, Mark? Old lady hands. I have old lady hands. And I learned I was a type 3 16 years ago, so I would have been in my 40s. I don't think I ever called my hands old lady hands. I don't know. It didn't bother me. I guess I didn't compare my hands like I compared my face. You know, it's all based on a comparison. It's like, oh, my hands are not attractive. They're old lady hands. This is not the hand of an old lady. I'd say it's a middle, probably in their 40s or 50s. But, you look at that hand and you go, oh, it kind of has a spooky look to it. It's just a classic type 3 hand. It has wider knuckles, asymmetrical movement, textured skin. And I'll read from It's Just My Nature. Rough, textured, knobby knuckles, spots, veiny, lots of pigmentation. It is common for someone with type 3 hands to comment they think their hands look old due to these features. I even wrote it in the book. I forgot I had written that. So type 3, again, it's the movement that matters. There's not a preferred look of a hand. Let go of any reference. There's a better looking hand than another. They're your hands and they look great. And you'll always say, type 3, they work hard with their hands. They beat them up, man. I've usually got a scratch or two on any given day on my hands as a type 3. Now, my hand's in this mix. Can you see which one it is? Could you see which hand's mine, Mark? Mm-hmm. Yep. Bottom left. But look at all these. They're all wider knuckles, asymmetrical movement, textured skin. They all have that quality of movement. So that's a type 3 hand. They're like, yep, there they are. They're pretty easy to point out. Okay, type 4, now we're going into more, and remember, type 3 movement is more angular, textured, push forward, move into action. And our hands express that. Type 4, we're looking for more exact, linear, straightforward movement. So we see that in the hands. Straight fingers, even width from the bottom of the finger to the, you'll see how this hand, it's the same width, the entire length of the finger. It's just straight. Flat nail beds, and also I will add rectangular nail beds. Let me read right here. Got it right here. Very smooth porcelain skin on top of the palm. Parallel lines on sides of fingers. Parallel lines on sides of nail beds. Long fingers, often the same width, all the way down the finger, creating parallel lines. And notice their rectangular shape, the nail bed. And that flat and even concave going down is type 4. Do you have type 4 hands? Let's look at a group of them. We're looking for that. The straight, clean lines. That quality of more porcelain skin on the top of the palm. We see a little bit more of a square palm. That's upper left one especially. See the length from right here, from right there all the way up, how long that is. What a long straight line that is. So there you go. Let's go back now to the very original photo of seeing these 4 types of hands together. And you can definitely see, there they are. See the difference? They're real easy to spot now. What have you noticed? What type of hand do you have? Share in a comment. Is it true to your type, your dominant type? How is this helping you learn to live true to your nature and stop judging your hands? You know, type 3s are not going to get hand modeling jobs. They're the just not our, they've not shown our hands to be the ones that they show in hand lotion commercials. But all hands are great. Hands are another expression of our true nature. Make sure you read the book, It's Just My Nature, and go to my free course, dressingyourtruth.com, free offer, dressingyourtruth.com/free offer, and go to my website. I have lots of videos that help you there. Join us in our lifestyle community. If you need help with your type, we can help you. You just need to sign up as an annual member. Once you've hit the 2 or 3 month mark, you're eligible. We like you to study and learn some content first. And quite often you'll learn it you'll have confirmation on your own, because we have so much valuable content that goes way above and beyond the basics that I teach you here on YouTube to help you see the truth of who you are. Thanks for subscribing, hitting that bell, and look forward to the next helpful video that I produce every Monday when it comes to living your truth. Thanks for watching.